Guys, we have a pretty good idea about debt. Now, we have talked a lot about debt, of course. How other principles, however, principle. There's interest and there's a lot of different type of debt equality. Well, that's interesting if we've already discussed a word that is very similar to equity. We're talking about stocks. Stocks are actually a form of equity because the real definition of equity is share of the ownership. Of ownership. So, to what degree do you own something versus how much you've taken? How how much debt you've taken out to purchase whether that we're talking about. So, in order to give us more concrete idea of equity versus debt, let's take a car example. Let's say, for example, that we want to go out and purchase a $20,000 car. This is gonna be great looking vehicle. So that's why it's $20,000. Oh yeah, splendid. Now you can see that the sticker tag writes $20,000. So you say to yourself, I don't, I don't have $20,000, but I do have $15,000 to put toward the price of a vehicle. So you say, all right. So this is $20,000. I've got $15,000, so I can pay for it. Well, the share of ownership in this case. So let's say I can pay for it. So let's say equality versus debt. Your equity is going to be $15,000. So you own $50,000 worth of this car, but you've taken out debt for the balance. So 20 minus 15 is 5. That's you're in debt for 5,000. So your equality is the share of ownership that you have, which is $15,000, and the debt is how much the car loan was, because you're gonna need to get an auto loan to finance the rest of the car. So then the question is, well, what can we do with that information? Usually debt or equity is expressed as the ownership. I mean, to give people a rough idea of how much of the car you own. So what will you do? Say, all right, let's calculate our percentage of equality in percentage. Well, that's actually a fairly easy calculation. You take the total equality you have, and then you divide that by the total value. In this case, our number are 15,000 divided by 20,000. So I don't need to write the 3 zeros after each one, because that's 15,000 divided by 20,000, but you don't have to write the 30 at the end because both of them have these numbers. So we're just gonna write 15 and 20. Now 5 goes into both of these numbers, so it can reduce this fraction and come up with a percentage. I divide by 5 and divide by both of these. I divide by 5. Oh, so we have third, fourth, and third, fourth is 75%. So I have a 75 equality stake in this car. Now, when you express it as a percentage, not only it makes sense, click up here, because you're like, okay, well, I own most of the vehicle, but you are also able to calculate the debt percentage very easily because 75%, well, because 75%, well, debt has to make up the remaining amount until you get it at 100% of the vehicle prices. So that comes to 25%. 75% plus 25% equal 100%. So your equality interest is 75% in the vehicle, and you have debt of 25% for the vehicle sale price. To recap, equality is very similar to stock, and that's it. Your ownership stake in whatever object, cars, in every object like car stock. But we're talking about house. But we're talking about house too. House of equality too. So the percent of your own versus the percent that you've taken out of the debt. To calculate the percentage equality, the percentage debt you take is pretty much easy. Well, thank you for watching and have a good day.